Good morning to Doctor and fellow friends. My name is CHUN TATT from Group 9, and our project analyzed the Penang Reclamation project with specifically balancing sustainability, ethics, and budget constraints. My personal contribution to this report includes the project introduction and issue background, project objective and scope, and also the team diversity analysis. Second, I was responsible to find articles that are related to our title. I sourced paper on hydrodynamic modeling, future demographics, historical heavy metals contamination, social economic impact score, and community opposition. Moreover, I also do continuity checking across the entire report to ensure logical flow from the start to the end. For example, the diversity challenge I identify in the team diverse analysis directly fit into the conflict analysis and that the solution maps back to the root cause. This help our report read as one unified argument, not disconnect pieces. Next is the team diversity analysis, which show that diversity strong influence decision making both positively and negatively. On the positive side, having civil engineer, environmental engineers, government agency, contractor, fishermen, NGOs, and urban planners mean we had a wide range of expertise. Environment engineer identify water quality risks that civil engineer might have missed. Fishermen share local knowledge of breeding grounds. This lead to a creative problem solving and better early risk identification. On the challenging side, diversity also create conflicts. Contractor wants to minimize the cost using cheap fuels, but the environmental engineer demands real-time monitoring. Fishermen want to preserve traditional fishing ground, while the government prioritizes economic growth. These conflicting priorities could have delayed or poor decision. To understand how diversity influences decision making, let me introduce the stakeholder groups that involved in our project. Civil engineer focus on structural stability and constructability. Environmental engineer cares about the water quality and ecosystem preservation. The government agency prioritizes economic growth, tax revenue, and political approval. Contractor went on time, on budget, completion, and profit margin. Fishermen communities need stable income and access to traditional fish ground. Environmental NGO advocate for marine biodiversity and transparency. Urban planner looks at efficient land utilization and city expansion. Notice how each group had different success metrics. What one stakeholder consider a win, and another may see a loss for it. For example, the contractor sees cheaper fuel material as a cost saving, but the environmental engineer see it as a contamination risk. This diversity of priorities directly influence the project decision. Without a structured process, the loudest, wise, or the most powerful stakeholder can dominate it. But with a proper tool like a requirement traceability metrics or regular stakeholder meeting, diversity becomes a strength. It forces the team to consider trade-off explicitly rather than ignoring them. Now I want to reflect on how diversity influence on our team, not just the Penang project stakeholder. Our group of four members came with different strengths. Some were stronger at technical analysis and criteria. Some were better at writing, visual design for infographic, conflict, or even conflict resolution. We assign a clear roles based on each person's strength, and we require everything to be backed by a peer-reviewed articles. This turned our diversity into a strength. We produce a balanced report that no single person could have written alone. This taught me that diversity does not automatically improve teamwork. You need actively management, clear rules, and mutual respect. That is a lesson I will carry forwards. Next, this project taught me three ethical values that I will carry into my engineering careers. Firstly, honesty in uncertainties. The original environment impact assessment assumed that moderate turbulence and dilution, but an article by Dr. Anna's 3D model shows that assumption was wrong. The tidal velocity increased by 19% at some point. As engineer, we must be honest about the limits of our models and avoid overly optimistic the assumption that high real risk. Second, responsibility to vulnerable communities. More than 4,000 B40 fishermen deployed on those water. 34.7% have fishing as their sole skill, and 75% oppose the project. Ethical engineering means asking who bear the cost and ensuring fair compensation before the project proceed. Ignoring this is just not just bad management, it is unethical. Third, transparent and long-term thinking. Using untreated garbage as fuel method in the 1980s was a classic short-term gain, long-term pain decision. Heavy metals still contaminate shellfish today. I learned that an ethical engineer must ask, what will be the impact in around 20 years or 50 years? Not just does it fit this year budget? This value honesty, responsibility, and transparency should be built in project measurement tools like mandatory environmental liability and independent community monitoring. Next is one area that I will improve in future teamwork is how we manage the article file. The problem I faced was this. After I sent the PDF articles to my teammates through WhatsApp, the file could not be found easily later. Teammates will ask to resend the same article. Moreover, an old version of the article will be used if they could not locate the latest PDF. So my solution for the next time is simple. At the very start of the group project, I will create a shared Google Drive folder and share the link with everyone. I will upload all the reference articles that I find with clear file name. This enables ease of finding, which everyone knows exactly where to look. No more searching through chat history. Also, teammates can share their article which they find. They can just upload it to the same folder instead of sending individual files. The benefits are clear. No more resending PDF, consistent citation because everyone used the same version, and less wasted time. It is a small habit that will make future teamwork much smoother. In conclusion, this project gave me three vulnerable takeaways. First, I clearly contribute to project introduction and issue background, project objective and scope, team diversity analysis, article research, and continuing checking. And I learned how to manage team diversity actively. Second, diversity, whether among Penang stakeholder or within our group, strongly influence decision. It can create conflict, but with structured process, it becomes a strength. Third, I will carry forward the ethical value of honesty, responsibility, and transparency, and the practical habit of a shared Google Drive folder for all reference files. That's end for my presentation. Thank you.